Syndicated presents Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian.
All right, he's Shep. I'm Sean, and we're going a little early tonight because I think a lot of people, my son is 1,000% in Shep. The World Baseball Classic,
He's a good man.
It's just been a hit. There's no other way to say that. It really has.
I think it's important that the U.S. has played pretty well. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much of a hit it would be. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, this is as good as baseball can probably do. The suggestion of maybe having it at the All-Star break is not a bad idea either. How many people truly care? Hi, Tom. I don't know how many people truly care about the All-Star game. I've always thought the baseball All-Star game is the best All-Star game of all of them.
Not even close.
A true competition.
Yep.
But if you had people who wanted to volunteer and do it, it would extend the season a little bit because of how they're playing it, because they're taking days off, except for Venezuela from yesterday to today. But I think it's been awesome for the game of baseball for sure.
Can I say one thing? And this is, I think, the only thing that draws back is I'm sure you saw it, Shep. Venezuela's manager said he received calls from multiple teams saying, please don't pitch this guy. Please don't pitch that guy. And I think that's the one difference between, say, the World Series, where Matt Shepard could go out and give me 6 2/3 in Game 5. And you know damn well I'm going to turn around and say, Shep, what do you got in Game 7? It's Game 7. What do you got in Game 7? So if there was one little minor complaint, it's that type of stuff. I get it. Let me get that out of the way. I get it. But I think that's just the one little minor complaint that maybe differentiates itself from, say, a World Series.
I would say my minor complaint, and maybe it's a major one, would be players choosing to opt out. You're either in or you're out.
Yep.
Constant flux of, I'm Tarek Skubal. I only want to pitch one game. I'm going to go back to Lakeland. But suddenly, Will Vest can come back.
Yeah.
I can only pitch one game, but Paul Skeens can pitch 2. Logan Webb can pitch 2. David Bednar can pitch 2. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I get it. He walked into the stadium today with Dylan Larkin's jersey. That's great. Oh, that's so awesome. Way to go. He must love Detroit. I would like a situation where Skubal was pitching the other night against Dominican Republic, and Paul Skeens is pitching tonight against Venezuela. That's what I would have preferred.
Yep.
He has his reasons. The Tigers probably have their reasons. I get it, and I respect it. But then just don't even accept it. Just move on and say, I'd love to do it, but it's more important for me to be at spring training with the Tigers. Okay, cool. This way, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I just don't like that.
No, I get it. It's been enjoyable. And Shep, the coolest thing is it's been cool to see how much it means to other teams, how much it means to other countries. And I've always said this, and I mean, Lord knows everybody wants to play for the Stanley Cup. But I can tell you this, Shep, there's a different vibe when you see people put on the crest of their home country. There is. There's whether you're as a fan, I can tell you as a broadcaster, and having the privilege of doing something at some of those games, Shep, there's just a different vibe when you get the best versus the best in really anything. And I think you're seeing that play itself out in baseball.
Do you think the U.S. has the same type of pride?
I think it's built up since the tournament started. How's that? I think there was some humiliation with that Italian game, and you're starting to see. Okay, I'm going to sound like a foreigner. You're starting to see that American swagger come back. You're starting to see that American confidence come back. At least from what I've watched, Shep, I think that it's kind of built to a crescendo.
Yeah, I think there's some guys. I think Aaron Judge has always really appreciated. Bobby Witt Jr. has always really appreciated it. I think there's a little bit of hesitation for people to think the Americans are all in, and I use that in general terms, because of what Bryce Harper said, that it's not the Olympics, and because of how people have viewed certain players who have decided to part ways with their team.
Right.
I'm going to play for just a little bit and then I'm going to leave. And that's where you don't have that in the Olympics. You don't have that in the Four Nations tournament or anything like that. So that's where they have a little bit of an issue with Team USA. But I love the fact that Pete Crow Armstrong, who surprisingly is not in the lineup tonight, although he's a lefty, so maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. Byron Buxton is starting in center field and batting ninth. He is part of Fanatics along with Jack Hughes, and they combined to give the USA jerseys to the team, and I think that's phenomenal, man. I mean, what a way to walk in with that swagger you're referring to into the ballpark.
For the record, I just want to say this is the year Byron Buxton puts it all together. He's going to become everything that we thought. He's going to stay healthy. This is it, Shep. I think everybody knows it's year 31.
He's going to play more than 28 games. Good for him.
It's year 31. It all comes together, okay? So
just like Marcus Davenport, Sean.
Oh, don't.
Although Byron Buxton's a hell of a lot better at his job than Marcus Davenport.
He absolutely is. We're done with that, by the way, Shep, right? There's no way he's coming back, right?
No way. You and I are involved in a very friendly family, Woodward Sports family group chat where people think, oh, for sure he's coming back. I'm like, he is not coming back. Okay.
No,
you can't do it. I mean, once bitten, twice shy, and then apparently that didn't work for Brad Holmes. So 3 times he would get run out of town by somebody who actually had a march at one point.
I'm never doing that again. We've had that conversation. I gave it the office. It's somebody else's turn. Okay. What a heck. What do you think? I think people, Shep, are guilty of their own unjust expectations in this offseason. And what I mean by that is Brad Holmes has never been a guy that has made more than a big splash, okay? And a guy, and I give you full credit, you are legitimately the first person I heard say Cade Mays. So I want to give you credit there, pal. They got their center, which I mean, one could argue was their greatest need, okay? They got a legitimate center. We didn't have to worry about, well, how will the transition be? So I think that people are a little bit a victim of their own expectations in regards to what he was and was not going to do in this offseason. But with that being said, what do you think about what he's done this offseason?
Yeah, look, I was never one of those guys who, on the first day of free agency, I'm the first kid running downstairs opening up Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to happen. I had no visions of grandeur that they were going to sign Trey Hendrickson and Linderbaum and, Rasheed Walker at left tackle to take over for Taylor Decker. And then they're going to go out and do what the Rams did and trade for a really good cornerback. I didn't expect that. I actually like some of the moves that they've made because they need depth, man. So Malcolm Rodriguez on a cap-friendly deal, sure. He's a special teams guy. Nowosky, those are just housekeeping items. Okay?
You got it.
What I love, obviously, I like Cade Mays a lot. 26 years old, didn't give up a sack, very little pressures. I like that as a center. He likes to play Mall U type football, which is similar to what Drew Petzing wants and what the Lions need to get back to. I am a little disappointed they haven't signed, and I like Roger McCreary, actually, to be frank. I've been a little disappointed they haven't picked up an edge. They have 3 defensive ends on their roster. That's a problem. I would like to see a Cam Jordan. Okay. I would like him over Joey Bosa, but if you went with Joey Bosa, I would be okay with that. He's a situational guy. I think you need some depth there, and they haven't done that. It tells me, obviously, they're going to do something like that in the draft. But Sean, look, I mean, they're not the Carolina Panthers because Detroit's got a top 5 player at like 6 or 7 different positions. Carolina can go out and spend all kinds of cash on that stuff because they don't have good players. Detroit has good players. The question is now, what are they going to do to try and shore up the defensive end? And what are they going to do in the draft with 9 draft picks? You want to trade up to get a 3rd round draft pick, trade one of your 4ths and trade one of your 6th or whatever? Go right ahead. That'd be fine with that. I'm excited to see what they're going to do about the draft because there's a few different ways I think they can go.
I'm really interested. I'm sure you've heard this, but for people that haven't, DJ Wanham has come in from Carolina. He was here on a visit today as an edge. And Shep, it's funny when
you like him.
I don't know a lot about him. I'm not going to say
that.
I know what I read. How's that?
Yeah.
Shep, One of the things in our business that drives me nuts is we have a bunch of people that it's almost like, I don't know, they're acting like Ron Jaworski back in the day. Yeah, I was home watching tape. Number one, you're not watching shit. Stop it. You're watching you're not sitting there watching tape of a game. I'm never going to BS about a guy that I don't know about. You know what I know about him? I know what I read. And this is why I can come to this opinion in that regard. Anybody that thinks he's going to make a big splash, I think that's not him. Throughout his entire tenure as general manager of the Lions, he hasn't really put a lot of value into that other side of Hutch. I mean, what other evidence do you need to see that he's not going to do that? So, Shep, what I know about this guy, would he be a nice depth piece? Sure, absolutely. Why not? But I think that's what we're talking about. In a perfect world, the Egyptian magician, we're going to see a lot more of him, and they're going to kind of take off the chains and everything. But come on, this is a first-year, 6th-round draft pick. I mean, the people that expect the world are
coming off an injury.
Right,
coming off an injury.
So,
so John, thanks for watching, Sean. John, we appreciate it. Shep, stop it. They don't need depth. We don't have any starters. Stop it. They do have starters. Okay, so you have Penei Sewell, you have Tate Ratledge, you have Cade Mays, you have either Christian Mahogany or Miles Frazier, and those guys were 4th and 5th round draft picks respectively. Okay, you need a tackle. You can get that if you so choose in the 1st round of the NFL draft. Suddenly, you feel a lot better about your offensive line. Do you not? I do. Yes. I feel a lot better. Okay,
the whole offensive side of the ball, I'm not worried about, Shep. I mean that. I'm really not.
So if you get Freeling and you want to move Penei Sewell over to the left, and you get Freeling, that's fine. You want to get the Vega Ionia guy, the guard out of Penn State, put him at left guard. And maybe address your tackle in a different way. I'm all for that too, because I love that kid. I mean, he's my favorite player, quite honestly, in the draft. The defensive side of the ball, they did need depth. They needed some depth at linebacker. They haven't gotten a starter yet, but they need some depth at linebacker, and they've needed some depth in the secondary. They have been able to do that, whether it be Rock Yassin, Roger McCreary, another safety that they signed. That's the depth we're referring to. We have said on this podcast over and over and over again that this team cannot afford to not have Terrion Arnold and a guy like Enos Rakestraw contribute to the secondary, because they were 1st and 2nd round draft picks. They have 9 picks. Their 1st round pick has to be a starter. Their 2nd round pick has to be a starter. And if they trade up for a 3rd rounder, that has to be a starter too. I never said that they're getting starters out of this free agent, but you can get depth pieces too, because guess what? You don't want to see Giovanni Manu playing tackle for Taylor Decker, do you? That's why they trade for guys like Juice Scruggs and Larry Bauman and all this other stuff. All right. So don't take it out of context here. Nobody said that it's complete. They still have free agency to go about, and they still have some draft picks that they can utilize.
Shep, literally breaking news.
Yeah.
Former Panthers free agent DJ Wanham signing a 1-year deal up to $6 million with the Lions per his agents, Kevin Connor and Robert Brown of Una Sports Management.
Okay.
So there you go. Do you know
so that is a, I'm sorry, that is a position of need, but it will not satisfy you, me, or anybody else in the chat. Nor do we expect it to.
No,
but
sir.
It does help. It's a rotational position, for crying out loud, people. Okay. Aiden Hutchinson is a bit of a freak. Maxx Crosby is a bit of a freak. They play 94% of the snaps. A guy like Al-Qadim Muhammad, he played 40% of the snaps a year ago. So you need some rotational pieces in there. Now, doesn't mean they're going to sign Cam Jordan. Doesn't mean that they're going to sign Joey Bosa. Doesn't mean that they're not either. But they can still address that through the draft, because they have to, and they can get some defensive tackles and things of that nature. It's not over, so why in the world are people freaking out?
I feel like, you know what, when you say that, I don't know how much you catch of our wacky morning show. Every morning I have to yell at Tom Mazaway and say, hey, Maz, I don't know if you know this. So there's this Thursday. It's called Draft Day. And then after that first Thursday, you're never going to believe it. They have a couple more rounds on Friday. And then, hold on. If you act now, you can get a Ginsu knife in a 3rd day of the draft. And then hold on, Shep, be the first in the first 10 callers, and you can sign undrafted free agents. I get it. I'll say this about especially the safety room. One giant question mark. I don't know. Nobody knows. I don't know where Kirby is. I don't know where Brian Branch is. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not even going to pretend. I don't know, and this terrifies me. I'm not going to lie. Sam Laporta. The back is a screwy thing that terrifies me. But other than that, Shep, I really like the offense. The corners, in particular, the safeties I'm worried about in that linebacker position because I hate to say this. Rodrigo is the perfect example of a guy that you and I have talked about 1,000 times. Everybody fell in love with this guy from Hard Knocks, okay? Yeah. And grit and all those buzzwords and everything. You know what? He's a nice piece to have in the puzzle. I don't want to give him one of the big pieces of the puzzle. Does that make sense?
Amen to that. It's okay to say he's a role player. All right? So he's a special teams guy, which can be important. Ask the Rams. That's an important piece. So special teams guy, and he's a guy who you can put in there when needed, but doesn't mean that you want him as an every down linebacker. Okay. Nobody said he was the second coming of Jack Campbell. All right. John, guys, Holmes has had one good draft. Not many, if any, good free agents. Dollar store shopping guys. Well, again, I think a lot of I'm not sticking up for Brad Holmes here. But when you have your core players signed long-term, this is oftentimes what you're going to have to do. That's number one. Number two, I don't think that he hasn't signed many good free agents. I thought Kevin Zeitler was a good signing. I thought David Montgomery was a good signing. And I thought DJ Reed was a good signing. DJ Reed did not have a great year last year. So I'm just saying what I felt at the time. Other guys like Roy Lopez, DJ Reader, certain guys like that were good players. They're not great. No one's saying that they're going to any all-pro banquet, but they're good players. And when you have, you're playing 4 down linemen, you better have more than 4. Okay. You got to play. There's got to be some rotational guys. Why don't they have a third? Oh, that's right. Another bad move by Holmes. Nobody said it was a good move. I sure didn't like the way they utilized Isaac Tesla last year. They better utilize him differently this year because there's no Khalif Raymond. All right.
Shep, you and I have probably had this conversation 1,000 times. I'm a firm believer, and you can't really judge a draft until at least a couple of years.
I agree.
I'm a firm believer. So even if it looks really good, I have to keep quiet and say, let's wait. And if it looks really bad, you have to keep quiet and say, let's wait. Can I just throw this out there, though? His drafts, 21, Panay, McNeil, Amon-Ra, and Derek Barnes.
That's a really good draft.
Okay. Aiden Hutchinson, J-Mo, Kirby, Rodrigo. Okay.
It's a good draft.
23, Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, Branch.
Really good draft.
Now, 24, this is the bugaboo. Make no mistake about that, okay? And it's 2 years removed, so I think we can have this conversation now. Arnold, Rakestraw, Manu, Vaki, Wingo, and Mahogany.
Bad draft.
Okay. Bad draft.
Yeah.
Bad draft.
But
now, last year, I'm not even going to bring it up because it's not. We can talk about it after this year. But I think what people are stuck on, and I don't blame them. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. I think they're stuck on 2 things. Number one, that 24 draft. And number 2, Shep, this pisses me off, and I'm not going to back down from it. I watch Snead be aggressive. I watch the guy that I wish to God we were like Howie Roseman be aggressive. And that isn't Brad's MO. And I really wish, and maybe this is part of me growing up a Lions fan and you growing up a Lion fan and Brad not knowing what we're going through. Say I'll worry about next year just one time and go for it. Put the eggs in the gosh damn basket and go for it and go, I'll worry about it next year. Because that's seemingly Howie Roseman does that every flipping year, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's paid off for him to a certain extent. Now, I would remind people, Howie Roseman was aggressive, traded for 2 guys, and both of them retired before the season was over last year.
No question.
And he also picked up Jalen Phillips, who had 2 sacks as a member of the Eagles. He had 1 good game, and that was against Detroit. So it all is burned in our memory like, God, what a genius, Howie Roseman. And look at what he did. He got the guy we wanted, and look at how good he is. He didn't do squat for Philadelphia last year, except for that one game. Now, I would have wanted him, and I would have traded a third-round draft pick. So I'm just as guilty, perhaps, as anybody else. All I'm saying is he has held us with the standard, and I understand why, because he's gotten a team to 2 Super Bowls, and he's won one, and they're winning championships for their division. And I would take any of that type of success. So I have no problem with it whatsoever, how he does business. But I just wanted to reel in a little bit from last year. He's the one who went for it. They didn't end up getting it, but his draft picks are really good. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Detroit could have had Cooper DeJean. They chose not to. They wanted Terrion Arnold. It hasn't worked out for him.
You know what? I want to shoot my shot guy. I'm never going to begrudge somebody for shooting their shot. I swear to God. Go for it. Just go for it. The Rams treat their first round draft picks like Kenny Holland circa 2003. We'll wait. Shep, but honestly, I get people's frustration right now. I truly do. Especially coming off a 9-8 year where you finished last in your division. I don't want anybody to think like I'm chastising anybody for feeling the way they do. Can we wait a little bit, though, before we start yelling and screaming and cursing and pulling hair out of our head? That's all I'm asking. In the interest of being fair, can we wait just a little bit? Because there's still an opportunity to address a lot of these positions, and not just with rookies. Am I frustrated? Of course I'm frustrated. We're all frustrated.
Sure.
We have, Shep, guys like you and I have 50-plus years of frustration.
Sure. Yeah. But I understand people's angst as well, because here's what they see, Sean. They see a team that has a lot of needs. For a team that is supposed to be as close as it is, and I mean close to the ultimate goal, it still has a lot of needs. It needs a defensive end. It needs a tackle. It needs a number one corner. It needs a coverage linebacker, all that stuff. And granted, you can get some of that in the draft. You're not getting the Sonny Styles in this year's draft. So people are worried about that. Are you getting a less than player? So I understand the disappointment, the angst, and the frustration, but there's no need to judge the team when the team isn't even complete yet. Let's see here. Rodriguez is definitely not a coverage linebacker, which is what Anzalone was and what we're currently lacking. I don't disagree with that, but would you have given Alex Anzalone 2 years for more money? Because I wouldn't have. Nope. And therein lies just the difference. It doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong or vice versa. I wouldn't do that. I actually like some of the things that they've done. The contract with Cade Mays doesn't tie your hands for a long time. McCreary doesn't tie your hands for a long time. This contract with Wonham will not tie your hands for a long time. They're going to get guys on a one-year deal. A lot of teams are doing that. How many people, Sean, when did you think, when free agency first hit, who did you think would be the first tackle taken? Sheed Walker, right? For Green Bay.
Yeah, one would think. Yeah, one would think.
1 year, $10 million.
Yeah.
That's what he signed for with Carolina. So it's a little different NFL at times with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, how long before Detroit is like Miami? Pay his guys big money only to get screwed later when we'll have to eat dead money or trade guys and rebuild from scratch. I think Detroit's players are better at what they do than what Miami's players were. Let's face it. Tua Tagovailoa was an absolute mess for Miami. Jalen Waddle never really had that massive season that they expected from him. Tyreek Hill came over, made a splash early, then couldn't stay healthy. I don't know, man. I think Detroit's in a little bit better situation, but I understand the question for sure.
Yeah. Guys, worst spot to be in is the middle. You need to either rebuilding or going for it. They're not going for it. Johnny, I say I wish our guy would be more aggressive. He's not. He's not. Shep, I was doing a show with Lomas, the 23 trade deadline. And we, if you remember, we were all hoping one more. Come on, let's get an edge. Let's get an edge. And it didn't come to fruition. And we'll guess till the day we die if that would have been the difference between beating Frisco in that game or not. And I hate what if types of things. We have to accept that he hasn't shown it yet, at least. And all we can do, this goes back to the Steve Eiserman conversation. All we can do is judge him on past things. He doesn't seem to be that guy that just says, bleep it. You know what? Let's go. Let's do this crazy thing right here and all that.
But he did do it the next year, and it still didn't pay off.
Well, yeah, that was out of necessity. Would you agree? I mean, there were 3,000 injuries.
Sure. I think it was out of necessity, but he still did it.
Yeah, he had to. He had to.
Okay.
Agreed on Anzo's contract he got with Tampa. That being said, I bet he was easily extended for a year last year in the season.
I don't think so, man. I mean, remember his comments in training camp, you know? He was not a happy camper. Okay. So maybe he wanted to leave, or maybe the Lions were a little hesitant. They had to find a way to save some money somewhere. So,
Shep, I want to get your. Do you think Detroit is now out of the Crosby talks? I don't think they were ever in it, personally. Just one man's opinion. I don't think they were ever in it.
I don't know how they fit him. I don't know how they would have been able to fit him.
That's exact. Does his
you heard what he said today, right?
That's why I wanted. Yeah, I wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, that was something else, man. It's a bad look for Baltimore. It's a bad look for the NFL. Everybody, there's there's Eric DeCosta, the general manager of Baltimore, can do, because everybody knows, everybody feels anyway. Shouldn't say they know, but they truly feel. But I think it's sort of validated by what Crosby said. They just found a way to save 2 first-round picks and get it just an effective player.
Yep.
And Trey Hendrickson and pay him about the same. And I hate to say this, but I don't blame Baltimore for that mindset. They just shouldn't have gone through. They should have thought of that before they went through some type of, physical with Maxx Crosby. Don't pull the trigger. Just go sign Hendrickson. I think they were surprised that he was still available.
That the funny part about that, Shep, is when he said he went up and dapped the coach.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how Max? We have something to tell you, Jesse Minner. We have something to tell you, man. I don't know how to say this. I mean, here you've been in there, you've been meeting with fans, doing some, promotional stuff, and then you get the rug pulled out from you like that, dude. Unbelievable.
These guys are so right in the chat. Greg, I'm so sick of hearing Crosby. Jason says it was a freaking fantasy. Always did. Did Baltimore do it just to stick it to Vegas? They had to know and really wanted Trey. I don't know if they did it to stick it to another team. I don't think teams look at that. Fan bases do. I don't think teams look at it that way, because then you ruin relationships. But it sure seems like they've ruined a relationship there, don't you think?
Yeah, no doubt.
You'd be hesitant. People are going to be hesitant to do business with Baltimore.
Oh, you heard a few unnamed general managers say things like that. Guys, don't forget that shit,
Absolutely. That's why they always say the best trades are when it works out for both teams. This one real quick. Sean, I gave Illich crap for a longest of time. Once he signed Valdez, Jansen, and JV, I did not give him credit where it's due. He went for it. Doesn't even if it didn't work out. I can't say if it doesn't work out. I can't say anything. All right, yeah, that's good for you. I mean, I give you credit for at least John owning up to it. He signed Valdez. He signs Kenley Jansen. He signs Justin Verlander. What more did you want? You wanted a right-handed hitting third baseman. I get it, especially when Eugenio Suarez signs on a 1-year deal for Cincinnati. Totally understand that. Does that change your mind now that Kevin McGonigal has an OPS of over 1,000 and made a nice play at third base to preserve a 1-1 tie today that even Justin Verlander was saying great play?
Yeah.
What if he's your third baseman? Or what if he's your shortstop and Cole Keith is your third baseman? Then they would have been quote unquote blocked if you had signed Suarez or if you'd gone after Bregman on a long-term deal. Maybe the McGonigal plan was the plan all along. And he's been really damn good. He's got to go north with him. Has to go north with him.
Has to. Gosh, even the good thing is he got out of that swoon he was in for a few days, Shep, and that's huge. We got to get out of here. All I care about is Brasenio. I wish him all the best. Surely when it's his time, he's going to be the greatest ever. I just like his name. I don't know the first thing about
I don't know, man. I think Bo Brisky's coming out of the bullpen.
Oh, here he comes. Hey, enjoy the game tonight. Check out Shep in the morning and the afternoon with Braylon Edwards as well. We'll catch up next week, my friend.
All right, pal. Great to visit.
God bless y'all. See you.
Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Still Alive by Anti-Ghost. mixing and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.